Welcome back to my shoebox adventures. Steve the Happy Camper here. Let's continue with this senior solo camping series, and today we're going to talk about how to stay warm. Yeah, we've covered tents that we can put up by ourselves very easily and quickly. We talked about sleeping surfaces, what kind of a mattress we're going to be sleeping on, what are my options there, and now we're going to talk about staying warm. This is really important. This is probably the most important. I've camped cold before, and it's no fun. And I've camped with people that seem to think that that's part of what the price you pay. You're going to be cold at night, and that's just ridiculous. Especially at our age, if you're a senior camper, we've got aches and pains. We need comfort and we need warmth. Now, so we're going to talk about how to do that, and it's not hard. It's not hard, but it should be very important. It's very important to me. I'm always ready for that unexpected super cold night. Tonight here in Quartzsite, it's going to be 33 degrees, I believe. It got down to 38 in my shoebox, my runaway cool camp last night, and I was warm as toast, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And these principles, you can do this across the board, no matter what you decide to sleep on. We covered all those different things: the air mattress on the floor, the sleeping pad, the cot, bubble, this crazy inflatable mattress here. If you're weird and eccentric like I am, and you want to bring your bed from home camping. So let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, the sleeping pad. We talked about sleeping pads. You need insulation between you and the ground, between you and that air mattress, between you and that cot. This is critical. A lot of people will buy a goose down sleeping bag. I highly recommend it. And they come in different ratings, right? They're rated to 30 degrees. They're rated to 15 degrees. They're rated to 0 degrees for $400 and something. And that doesn't mean you're going to be warm as toast at the rated. If you buy a 30-degree bag, you're not going to be warm and toasty if it gets down to 30 degrees. It's going to keep you alive at 30 degrees, but you're not going to be comfortable. So you always want to go for more. Secondly, and this is the most important, people think because that's a 0-degree bag or a 30-degree bag, whatever it is, that they can just throw that on an air mattress and they're going to be warm. They can just throw it on the ground and they're going to be warm. Not true, and I'll tell you why. Goose down, it has to be lofty to be warm. You need it to, look, here's a goose down comfort. Look how puffy. You got to shake it out. When you take that sleeping bag out of your stuff bag, you shake and shake and shake. You want those fibers to be filled with air. That's when they work for you. So you want your goose down to be, you don't want to put a blanket on top of your goose down and crush it down. Oh, great. Thanks for the wind, Mother Nature. It needs that air. So when you're laying on a cold surface, whether it's an air mattress or the cold hard ground or a cot, and the air under you is extremely cold, you're crushing those down feathers under you. You're laying down on top of on the goose down. So under you, they've lost most of their thermal capabilities. They're not going to keep you warm like the ones on top because they're not all fluffy and puffy and filled with air. You've just crushed them down to probably the thickness of a piece of paper, right? But if you've got an insulated pad between you and that coldness, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine every time. It's going to make the bag do its job. It's going to help that bag do its job. And that's important. So when we talked about the air mattress, you need a thermal barrier. Some people just put a blanket on top of it and call it a day. Not enough if it's going to be really cold. You're going to need more. Unless it's like 2 wool blankets, well, you're probably fine. Wool is an excellent insulator. But most people don't have wool. It's really expensive. So get a sleeping pad. I was going to I should have brought the X-Ped sleeping pads. You'll see all kinds of stuff. Hest has a sleeping system. They're out there. Look around. The prices vary wildly. The more you spend, the more comfortable you're going to be, obviously. Well, we hope so anyway. But insulation under you and hopefully some padding and some cushioning, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is an air mattress. I'm going to sleep on this tonight because I've gone to the trouble of putting it all together to show you how it works. And this is, it's just air. It's ice cold air. But let me show you what I did here. It takes the fitted sheets. I'm going to show you, first thing you've got to do is have a thermal barrier, right? So because it takes fitted sheets, I've got this nice, this pad that says bamboo. It's a mattress pad, right? So it's got fabric in there, and it's squishy and it's nice. But that's not enough. I've got a 2-inch memory foam topper. This is foam. Here's my thermal barrier. No way am I going to get cold with that on there. So I've got that on there. Yeah, I told you, glamping, eccentric, that's me. Fitted sheets, all right, that's on. Now, let's talk electric blanket, okay? If you've got a power source, or if you're camped in a campground where you've got hookups, electric blanket's a piece of cake. When we're out boondocking like I am, and this is a finite source of power. I don't want this to go dead in the middle of the night, right? The object of the electric blanket, in my opinion, I mean, you don't need to have it on all night long. Now, they make 12-volt electric blankets that are for the car. You plug it in so your wife sitting next to you can be nice and warm while you're driving, right? So you don't have to heat up the whole truck. This here, I keep referring to an electric blanket. This that I'm using is an electric throw. It's not a blanket. It's a throw. This is designed, you got it at Costco for 30 bucks. Let me show you how big it is. Let me move my massive Goose Down comforter here. So here it is. Look, so it's good for what we're doing for camping. And you know, if you've even if you're camping on a queen size mattress and you've got a companion, you can do it this way, and at least it'll have your feet all the way up to here warm, right? So what I do is I cover this up. I cover this up with a blanket. I'm gonna put. Ooh, God. That's the Goose Down. That's the top layer. That's got to be the top. I've got this nice blanket here. So this is on me. There's obviously a sheet. This is on me. Then I cover it with this blanket here, and then I'll put the Goose Down on the top. You want to trap the heat. You don't need this blanket to be on all night. You're out at the campfire. You know, you're enjoying yourself, but it's getting cold now. It's getting cold. What I always do is stay out until I've lost a lot of my body heat, till I start to feel really uncomfortable. Then it's like, I'm cold, I'm going to bed, okay? If I take this cold body and hop into a cold bed, even with the Goose Down, it's going to take a while to warm up. I'm talking an hour, 2 hours. It's going to take a while. It's going to be uncomfortable. If I turn this thing on, look, this has got a low, medium, and high setting here, and so I turn it on to whatever, depending on how soon I'm going to go to bed. If I'm going to bed in 10 minutes, I'm putting that baby on high. And you might as well put it on high, and it's going to draw, this particular thing draws about 75 watts. So it would run off my Bluetti if I left it on high all night long, probably 6 or 7 hours, and then this thing's gone. So in the morning, when I wake up and it's 33 degrees, it's not on anymore. So what I want to do is turn it on, heat the bed. I've got the bed all made. The Goose Down traps the heat. It's just marvelous. If you don't have Goose Down, put like 4 blankets. You know, if you've got, these fuzzy blankets, put 4. Or really covered up. You want to create an insulation so that it'll hold that heat. Now, when you hop in here, and you've got to get, you're coming into your tent now, and you're going to take your clothes off. I'm not getting in bed like this. So now, for a second, you're exposed. You're even, more cold. Woo! And I wear long johns. I put on the long sleeve T-shirt, right, and the long underpants that, like if I'm skiing. And wool socks. I sleep with wool socks because I got to get up in the night. I don't want bare feet. And I put a nice travel blanket down once I've got my shoes off, so my feet don't have to touch this dirty plastic. My stocking feet are going to be on this nice soft blanket. But that's beside the point. You're going to get in and you're going to be warm. You can turn this off. There have been times where I woke up in the middle of the night and I was uncomfortably warm because this is so efficient. And I thought I forgot to turn the electric blanket off. I hadn't. It was just the Goose Down. Be sure to do a couple of blankets and then the Goose Down. Then you're covered. Then you're not wasting electricity. Now, when I get up in the morning, and I'm gonna jump out of bed for a second because I'm gonna turn on. We're gonna talk about buddy heaters and stuff in a second too. Turn on the heater, do what I've got to do. Then I want to get back in the bed, so I might want to turn the electric blanket back on again in the morning. But again, you don't need to keep the blanket on. The electric blanket on all night long. If you wake up and you're cold, then you can turn it back on again. I recommend low because this thing, low means. It pulls power for a minute and then it shuts off. Pulls power for a minute and then it shuts off. Medium, it pulls power for a longer period of time and shuts off for a shorter period of time. And then on high, of course, it's just on the whole time. If you don't have a way to trap that heat, the heat's just escaping. You're warm. Your electric blanket's keeping you warm. The heat's just going right out through the roof. And that's why this is going to die. You don't need to do that. Trap that heat. Your battery won't run out. The 12-volt ones that work in the car are smaller, and I believe they pull less power. They'd last even longer. I've got to experiment with that. I'll get back to you if I find out that it's a shocking difference. I don't think it's going to be. But there you have it. These things, the new ones, this is an old model that I've gotten years ago. The new ones from Costco now, see, this controller's down here. It's an awkward, uh-oh, I lost my windscreen. My dead cat fell off. It's a... it's an awkward place for the controller because it's made for being on the couch, not for sleeping. But the new ones they have this year have the controller built into the corner up here by your face. So you touch a button here to go low, medium, high, and actually it's got 4 levels instead of 3, and you can turn it off right here too. Much more convenient. I'm going to get one. Of course I am. Now, also, neck gaiter. I used to be I shouldn't say I used to be a skier. Of course I'm still a skier just because I haven't skied in the last 5 years. This is like a blanket for your neck, you know, neck gaiter. It's nice and soft, and you pull this over your head. Because my neck is sticking out of the blankets, I don't sleep with your head under the blankets. When you exhale, you're exhaling moisture, and you don't want to put a bunch of moisture you know, in your bed. So your face needs to be exposed. You don't want to blow all that moisture into the bed. That's why a lot of campers get condensation. When you're sleeping at night, you seal up your camper, and now there's water on the walls. That's from your breath, from breathing. You're losing moisture as you breathe. You're losing hydration. So I wear this, and I wear a little cap. I sleep in a little cap because, of course, you know, I have so much hair. Yeah, my head gets cold. So this, you lose 80% of your body heat through your head. So cover up your head, cover up your neck, and of course a goose down pillow so it's nice and warm on my face. Yeah, glamping. And then you're good to go. Now, when we get up in the morning, the tent is freezing cold. A lot of people try to heat their camper. They try to heat their tent for the entire night. They've got, they've got gas heaters, electric heaters. They're always talking about heating their tent for the entire night. I find that to be impractical. Let me grab the camera here, and let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. I've got the Mr. Heater, and this is the Portable Buddy, and I've got it hooked up, as you can see, to a propane tank. Now it'll take the little blue or the little green individual cans, but they burn out after about 5 hours and they're expensive. So that thing, you can run it for a week on a can like that. It's cheaper. But anyway, I get up and I turn on Mr. Buddy here and get back in bed. And you'll want a fan. You'll see I've got a clip-on rechargeable fan there. You turn that on very, very low because the heat's going to come straight up. It's going to go straight up and go right out the top of my tent. But if you turn that fan on low, as the heat rises, it's blowing the warm air over here on me, and it's circulating that warm air throughout the tent. All right, so you know my tent is going to be warm. I'm going to close these windows, obviously, and I'll let you know. I think this is, you know, in the Napier tent, it works great. It heats up the Napier tent in 30 minutes to the point where I can then get out of bed. I can do my personal shaving stuff. You know, I can take off my shirt. I mean, I'm shocked at how well these heaters work. But don't try to heat the tent all night long with a Mr. Buddy heater. You're going to use a lot of power. I mean, you're going to use a lot of propane. I don't think that's a good way to go. I would focus on the electric blanket. I would focus on the electric blanket and the goose down or some other means of staying warm that way. You know, just be in your little cocoon. The only thing that I feel cold is right here, and it doesn't bother me at all. You know, that's my recommendation. And if you are sleeping on a cot and you want to sleep in a bed situation like I do, if you're in the same boat that zipping out of a sleeping bag is not convenient for you, they have fitted sheets for the cots. You can get a nice 4-inch thick mat, you know, sleeping mat that's insulated, and then you can seal that with fitted sheets and put twin size sheets on it and do the same thing. You can do the same thing. You can figure it out, you know, but be sure you've got a thermal barrier under you, all right, under you. And then if you're going to go the electric blanket route, and you only need this when you're, you know, camping in the real cold weather, like I am right now, then put layers on top of it, trap the heat, all right? Then you won't need to keep it on all night long, and you won't run into issues with your solar generator running out of electricity because you left your electric blanket on all night long. And I recommend using these throws, not a real electric blanket. They use more power and they stay on all night. I forgot to mention, this one turns off after 3 or 4 hours. It'll turn itself off because it assumes you went to bed and left it on. And that's a handy treat too. If you forgot to turn it off, you're so tired, it's going to turn itself off in 4 hours. So it's not going to run all night. That's a power saving feature. I like it. All right, is there anything else? Can you guys, any questions you've got for me? Staying warm. We've got the Buddy heater to heat the air, but at night, you know, goose down or synthetic down or lots of wool blankets. You know, thermal barrier under you. Don't let that cold come up and get you. And you'll be good to go. You'll love going to bed. You'll sleep like a baby, and camping becomes way more fun. So if you've had problems sleeping cold, or if you're brand new to all of this and you have no idea what you're getting into, I hope I've helped. I hope I've helped. Remember, like and subscribe. All right. And I'll make another video about something else and be coming at you with that. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. And happy camping. Bye now.